My dear sisters in Christ, I want to ask you a question, and I need you to think deeply about it. Do you truly believe that everyone who smiles at you is someone who wants the best for you? Do you trust that everyone who speaks to you has your heart's best interest at the forefront? My friends, the truth is this: not everyone who walks into your life is sent by God. Not everyone is your friend, and not everyone deserves access to your heart. In a world filled with noise, oversharing, and the ever-present temptation to be open, there is wisdom in knowing when to hide. I'm not talking about hiding in fear or about putting up walls of bitterness. I'm talking about hiding in wisdom, about holding sacred things close to your heart until God's timing is right. There are things so powerful, so holy, that they should not be revealed to just anyone. I'm here to tell you today that a woman must learn to hide, not out of insecurity, but for protection, for purpose, and for the glory of God. And by the end of this message, you will know the 3 sacred things every woman must keep hidden, so that you can walk in divine strength, wisdom, and authority. The first thing that every woman should keep hidden is her next move. The steps of a righteous woman are ordered by the Lord. The truth is, God alone knows the future. And yet how often do we find ourselves announcing our plans to the world, to friends, to colleagues, to anyone who will listen? When you share your next move before it is ready, you open yourself up to criticism, sabotage, and even doubt. There are people who may not understand your calling, people who will doubt your vision, and people who will try to talk you out of what God has placed in your heart. Beloved, there are dream killers among us. There are jealous spirits and critical voices that want to tear down what God is building in your life. You have to learn to keep your vision between you and God until it is mature enough to stand the test of time. There is strength in silence, and there is wisdom in waiting for the right season to unveil your purpose. Do not let the world rush you. Trust God's timing. Hide your next move until it is ready to be revealed. The second thing every woman must hide is her pain. I'm not saying you should ignore it or act like it doesn't exist. I'm not telling you to be a robot, but your pain is sacred. And too often we make the mistake of bleeding out for everyone to see. We make the mistake of sharing our wounds with people who are not equipped to handle them, people who cannot offer the healing we need. There are spiritual vultures who feed off of your suffering. They will watch you in your weakest moments, waiting to use your vulnerability against you. The world does not deserve to see your heartache, your tears, and your suffering. You must learn to weep in the secret place before God, to pour out your heart to Him who sees and knows all things. He is the only one who can truly heal your brokenness. When you share too much of your pain with the wrong people, you invite manipulation and destruction. Guard your heart. There is wisdom in keeping some things hidden, even from those who are closest to you. The third thing a woman must always hide is her intimacy with God. This may seem counterintuitive, especially in a world where we are often encouraged to share every detail of our spiritual lives with others. But listen closely, your relationship with God is sacred. Jesus Himself said, "When you pray, go into your room and shut the door." Your prayer life is not for display. It is not for validation. It is not to prove to others how holy or spiritual you are. Your intimacy with God is your most precious treasure. It is the foundation of your strength, your peace, and your joy. It is the place where He speaks directly to you, guides you, and fills you with His Spirit. Not everyone needs to know the depths of your relationship with Him. Keep that part of your life hidden in the secret place, where only you and God can commune. The deeper your intimacy with God, the less you need the approval of others. What God reveals to you in private will become evident to all in due time. Keep your relationship with God between you and Him. Sisters, I want you to understand this. You were not made to be an open book for the world to read. You were not made to wear your heart on your sleeve, or to let everyone into your most sacred places. You were made to be a vessel of glory, a carrier of purpose, and a woman of strength. But in order to walk in that strength, you must learn to hide what is holy and precious. The world wants you to be exposed, but God calls you to guard what He has placed in you. The three things a woman must always hide are her next move, her pain, and her intimacy with God. These things are not for everyone to see, not until God's timing is right, and not until He has prepared the right people to witness them. When you hide what is sacred, you protect it from the enemy and from the world. And when the time comes for God to reveal it, He will do so in such a way that His glory will be undeniable. Guard your heart, guard your vision, and guard your relationship with God. There is strength in secrecy, wisdom in waiting, and power in knowing when to hide. Remember, beloved, God has placed greatness inside you, and the deepest truths are never exposed prematurely. They are protected by the hand of the Almighty. May God bless you, guide you, and give you the wisdom to hide the things that matter most. This version of the speech is written to engage the audience deeply, encourage reflection, and ultimately inspire action. Let me know if you'd like further adjustments. One of the most important things a woman should learn to do is to hide her next move. In a world that demands instant answers, constant updates, and immediate results, it can be tempting to share your plans, your dreams, and your next steps with everyone around you. But let me tell you, beloved, not everyone who listens to your plans is cheering for your success. The truth is, not everyone is meant to walk with you on your journey. Some people might not understand the vision that God has placed in your heart, and their words can discourage or even derail the calling God has placed upon your life. When God reveals a vision to you, it is a sacred and holy thing. It is unique to you, and it carries with it the potential to change your life and the lives of those around you. But visions, dreams, and purposes are fragile in their early stages. When they are still in their infancy, they need to be protected from the harsh scrutiny of others. You see, there are many voices that will try to drown out the whisper of God, many distractions that will attempt to pull you away from your path. Some people might offer advice, but not all advice is good. Some will even tell you that your dream is impossible, or that it's not the right time. But the truth is that only God knows the full plan. Only He understands the steps you need to take to get there. By keeping your next move hidden, you protect yourself from the naysayers, from the voices that would try to plant seeds of doubt and fear in your heart. Not everyone around you is on your side, and not everyone wants to see you succeed. There are those who will try to undermine your efforts, either out of jealousy or insecurity. When you openly share your plans, you give them the chance to speak words of destruction, to plant seeds of fear that could cause you to hesitate, or even abandon your purpose. There is also a practical side to hiding your next move. It allows you to move in silence. When you share too much too soon, you give people the opportunity to compete with you or even try to copy your idea. But when you remain quiet, your actions speak louder than your words. The results of your labor will show the world the fruit of your obedience to God's plan. As you work in silence, your move becomes more powerful. And when it is finally revealed, it will be undeniable. It will be clear to everyone that what God has placed inside you is not just a dream, but a divine purpose that cannot be thwarted by the opinions of others. Every woman, at some point in her life, will experience pain. Whether it be emotional, physical, or spiritual, pain is an inevitable part of the human experience, and yet, it is one of the most sacred things that a woman should learn to hide. It's not that you should deny your pain, or pretend that it doesn't exist. What I am saying is that your pain should not be broadcasted to the world, or laid bare for everyone to see. You must learn to protect what hurts, to guard your heart when it is breaking. You see, the world is full of people who will see your suffering as an opportunity for judgment, criticism, or even exploitation. When you expose your pain too freely, you allow others the power to manipulate it. There are those who, rather than offering a shoulder to lean on, will use your vulnerability to elevate themselves, to feed their own egos, or to gain control over your emotions. They may pretend to offer comfort, but underneath their words, their true intentions are far less pure. Your pain is a part of your journey, and it's something that only God truly understands. He knows the depths of your suffering, the weight of your burdens, and the longing of your heart. In His presence you are safe to release your tears, to pour out your heart. But the world is not always a safe place, And there are those who will not handle your pain with the tenderness it requires. Instead, they may use your moments of weakness against you, twisting your words or actions to serve their own agendas. The wise woman understands that there is a time for sharing her struggles, but she also knows when to hold them close. She knows when to turn to God in prayer, seeking His healing in private, and allowing Him to heal her in the secret place. This is not to say that you should isolate yourself, or never seek support from trusted friends or family. But the most intimate and powerful healing comes when you allow God to be the one to restore you in the quiet moments, away from the eyes of others. In this way, by hiding your pain, you are not hiding from the world, but rather protecting your heart. You are preserving the sacred space where God can work on you, heal you, and strengthen you. When you choose to guard your pain and allow God to heal it in secret, He can restore you in ways that the world cannot. And when the time comes for your pain to be shared, it will not be a mark of weakness, but a testimony of God's faithfulness, His strength, and His ability to turn your sorrow into joy. The third thing a woman must always hide is her intimacy with God. In today's world, there is an overwhelming pressure to share every part of your life, including your relationship with God, on social media, in conversations, and even in church circles. But let me tell you something important. Your intimacy with God is not for display. It is sacred, it is precious, and it is between you and Him alone. Jesus Himself demonstrated this truth. When He went to pray, He didn't do it for the crowds, or to put on a show of righteousness. Instead, He withdrew to a quiet place, to the secret spaces, where He could be alone with His Father. He instructed us in the same way. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Your intimate conversations with God, your moments of worship, your prayer, and your meditations are not meant for the approval or admiration of others. They are meant to draw you closer to the heart of God, to strengthen your spirit, and to renew your mind. There is a danger in exposing this sacred relationship to the eyes of the world. When you open up your spiritual life to others too freely, you may begin to measure your worth by their approval, or you may find yourself trying to live up to their expectations of what a spiritual woman should be. This can easily lead to a false performance-based relationship with God, rather than a genuine heart-to-heart connection. And let me tell you, beloved, God is not interested in a performance. He desires true intimate communion with you, without any pretense or facade. The beauty of intimacy with God lies in its privacy. It's in the moments when you are alone, when it's just you and the Father, that He can pour into you the deepest truths. It's in the secret place that He can speak directly to your heart, comfort your soul, and give you the strength to face the world. When you share too much of that sacred space with others, you risk diluting its power, because God's work in your life is a deeply personal experience. So, my dear sisters, learn to hide your intimacy with God. Protect that holy space where you and the Lord meet, where He knows the deepest desires of your heart, and where He can truly shape you into His image. When you nurture that relationship in secret, you will experience a strength and peace that surpasses human understanding. And when the time comes to share your testimony, it will not be for the sake of boasting, but as a living proof of God's work in you, quietly and powerfully transforming you from the inside out. A woman must also learn to hide her strength. In a world that often misinterprets confidence as arrogance, and equates silence with weakness, the strength of a woman is too precious to be flaunted unnecessarily. Strength is often seen as a sign of power, but not all strength needs to be broadcasted. Many women feel pressured to demonstrate their capabilities to the world constantly, to prove themselves in every interaction, every opportunity, and in every setting. But there is wisdom in knowing that not all strength should be on display. When a woman is strong, when she has been shaped by the battles of life, she becomes a vessel of power that others can see and feel. However, not everyone needs to see that strength. Just because you can handle something doesn't mean you have to show it off. In fact, there is a quiet power in a woman who knows when to withhold her full potential. She knows that strength is not about dominance or proving superiority over others. It is about self-control, grace, and the ability to discern when to be quiet, when to step back, and when to stand firm. There are situations in life where your strength might be misunderstood or even feared. Sometimes when you show all that you can do,
others may feel threatened. Women are often placed in situations where their strength is seen as a challenge to the status quo, or even as an affront to the insecurity of others. It is for this reason that learning to hide your strength is important. This does not mean shrinking or diminishing your worth, but rather understanding that there are times to hold back and wait for the right moment to reveal the fullness of your power. It is in the quiet, subtle moments that your strength can be most effective, most impactful. Additionally, not everyone is prepared to understand or appreciate the strength of a woman. When you reveal too much too soon, you risk inviting unnecessary conflict, unnecessary judgment, and unnecessary expectations. By keeping your strength hidden in the right moments, you protect your peace and the integrity of your purpose. It allows you to move in wisdom, not just in might. You can walk with grace, knowing that there is an inner strength that God has placed within you that does not need to be flaunted to prove its worth. So, dear sisters, learn when to hide your strength. There is great power in knowing the right time to stand firm and the right time to stay calm. God has given you a spirit of strength, and when the world needs to see it, you'll know. Until then, let it simmer quietly within you, ready to rise when the time is right. A woman should also learn to hide her joy. Now you may be wondering why I would suggest hiding something so beautiful and life-giving. But the reality is, not everyone will celebrate your joy with you, and sometimes, exposing your happiness can expose you to unnecessary harm or misunderstanding. When a woman has found joy in the Lord, or has reached a place of peace and contentment in her life, it can be a truly powerful thing. But the truth is, not everyone around you will be happy for you when you are blessed, when you experience success, or when your heart is full of joy. Some people may feel envy, jealousy, or even resentment when they see you at peace. In a world that often measures success by external appearances, where the comparison game is played endlessly, it's crucial to guard your joy. The enemy loves to use the joy of others to create division, to spark bitterness, and to cause people to question their own worth. When you share your happiness too openly, especially with those who are not spiritually or emotionally mature, you risk opening yourself up to unnecessary judgment or ridicule. Your joy is precious, and it should not be shared with just anyone, because not everyone is in a place where they can understand or support it. Furthermore, there is a deeper aspect to this. Joy is often the fruit of a season of hardship. If you've come through a struggle, a challenge, or a period of suffering, your joy may be a testimony of God's faithfulness. However, not everyone will understand the depth of that joy. Sometimes, when people see your joy, they may not see the cost that came with it. They may not see the tears you cried in private, the prayers you whispered in the darkness, or the battles you fought alone. Your joy then becomes something sacred, a reflection of the victory God has brought in your life. It's important to recognize that your joy is for your heart first, not for the validation of others. When you learn to hide your joy in the right circumstances, you protect it from being stolen or misunderstood. It's not that you should never share your happiness, but that there is wisdom in knowing who to share it with. There are people who will rejoice with you, but there are also those who may not be able to understand or celebrate with you. By hiding your joy until the right time, you ensure that it remains pure and undisturbed by negativity. So, dear sisters, protect your joy, let it fill your heart and shine brightly within, but be discerning about when and with whom you share it. Your joy is a treasure that God has given you. Hold it close, protect it, and let it be a testimony of His goodness and grace in your life. A woman must also learn to hide her goals. This is one of the most powerful things a woman can do for herself, her growth, and her success. In today's world, we often feel pressured to share our ambitions, our dreams, and our goals with everyone around us, as if revealing them is the key to achieving them. But the truth is, not every goal should be exposed to the world. There is tremendous power in keeping your goals hidden, especially in the early stages. When you make your goals public too soon, you expose yourself to unnecessary scrutiny, doubt, and even sabotage from those who may not understand or support your vision. Your goals are personal, and they are meant to align with God's plan for your life. When He speaks to your heart, when he reveals the desires and plans he has for you. It's often in quiet, intimate moments. You receive them not as a way to impress others, but as a divine calling to pursue a path that he has set before you. These goals are not for display, and they should not be shared with just anyone. Not everyone who hears your goals is a supporter. Some may doubt your ability to accomplish them, while others may try to steer you away from the path that God has laid for you. If you expose your goals too early, you risk giving others the opportunity to discourage you, to plant seeds of fear and doubt, or to criticize your dream before you've even begun to take action. By hiding your goals, you are allowing them to grow and mature in silence, away from the judgment of others. When your goals are in their early stages, they are like a seed planted in the ground. The seed must be protected, nurtured, and cultivated before it can grow into something strong and fruitful. If you share your goals too soon, they are exposed to the harsh elements, the opinions, criticisms, and even the jealousy of others. But when you keep your goals hidden, you protect them from those external forces, allowing them the space they need to grow strong. There is also a spiritual aspect to hiding your goals. When you keep them to yourself, you are acknowledging that the journey is just as important as the destination. God knows the perfect timing for everything in your life, and he will lead you step by step toward your goals. By keeping your goals hidden, you allow yourself to focus on the process, rather than the public approval or recognition. It's in the quiet, undistracted work that you will see your goals unfold, and when the time is right, God will bring them to fruition in ways that will amaze those who doubted, and even you. So beloved, learn to hide your goals. Keep them between you and God, until the right time. When the moment is right, he will bring them to light, and when they are revealed, they will stand as a testament to his faithfulness, his perfect timing, and his guidance in your life. In conclusion, the art of hiding certain things is not about secrecy or deception, but about wisdom and discernment. It is about understanding the power of keeping what is precious, your next move, your pain, your intimacy with God, your strength, your joy, and your goals, hidden from the wrong eyes and the wrong hearts. These things, in their purest form, are treasures that need to be protected. When you learn to hide them wisely, you allow them to grow, mature, and unfold in the right time, and in the right way. God has a purpose for each one of us, and part of that purpose is knowing when to speak, and when to stay silent, when to share and when to hold back. As women, we are called to walk in grace, wisdom, and strength, and there is a quiet power in understanding the value of keeping some things between you and God. Your life is a testimony of his faithfulness, and sometimes that testimony is built in the secret, quiet places, where only he can see and work. When you choose to hide what matters most, you allow God to work in you, and through you, in ways that cannot be seen or explained, but only experienced. So dear sisters, guard your heart, protect your dreams, and allow your journey to unfold in silence when needed. Be wise in the choices you make about what to reveal, and when. Trust that God will guide you, that he will provide the strength and discernment you need to know when to speak, and when to remain silent. As you protect these sacred parts of yourself, you will find that God honors your obedience, and will bring forth fruit in your life that is far beyond what you could have imagined. Remember, there is a time for everything, and your time will come. Until then, walk in wisdom, hide with grace, and trust that in due season, God will reveal what he has been cultivating in secret. Keep your trust in him, and let his strength be your guiding light.